Alright, welcome back guys. Thursday night, we're back on the trailer project and we're just working on installing the winch, and I've managed to find a cross beam that I can bolt that to solidly. At least the two center ones are right in the cross beam. The other two on the outside will be bolted and washered on the bottom of the plywood. So we'll have 4 fastening points for that winch, and that should be sufficient, I would think. As long as the 2 of them are in the metal, I'll be happy with that. Anyway, so we're making progress on that. We're just about to head back onto the trailer and see how we did as far as alignment is concerned. And we're probably going to see how we did as far as the length of bolts is concerned. And if we need to find some longer bolts, we might have to find 2 longer bolts for the center 2 bolts that go through the metal on the bottom, of the metal rail on the bottom of the trailer. But the other 2 should be sufficient, but we're going to find out in a second. And we'll go ahead and we'll fasten the winch to the base plate, and then we'll fasten the winch to the trailer. So we're making progress. Well, we are definitely going to require some longer grade 8 bolts to go through the bed of the trailer, so we're going to head up to the hardware store and pick some of those up. So we'll close the trailer up and hit the road, and probably be back in about a half an hour or so with some new longer bolts. And after we get those installed, should be pretty much a piece of cake, except for the wiring, which doesn't look too difficult. We have to find a place actually to put the switch. It's on a rocker switch. So I'm kind of thinking that I'd probably like to put one somewhere around here where it's easy to sort of stand in the doorway and flip the switch and watch the car come in. So we'll see where we can find a place to put that rocker switch that's going to be accessible. Okay, we're back with the longer grade 8 bolts, and we've got the, I think this is called the fair lead attached. So we're about to drop it in the holes on the trailer bed, and then we'll get underneath there and we'll fasten some large washers and nuts on the bottom, and everything should be good. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, here's the underside of the trailer. Not sure how well you're going to be able to see that, but there's the 3 fasteners on the one side, and you can see I've put a larger washer here just to capture the edge of the steel here. We've got 2 complete in the rail, and then we've got 1 just on the other side here on the outside. So I think that will be sufficient. The car only weighs about the TR6 or the TR3 only weigh around 23 or 2400 pounds, so not a huge amount of pull on that. Anyway, so there you go. Winch is in. Now we just got to wire it up. And just a really quick look at where it's located on the inside. That's fairly close to the rear wall, which is what I wanted. So I definitely wanted to pick up that structural beam underneath. So I think it's going to be good there. I think we're going to end up probably putting the battery in this corner over here where my drill is, somewhere where I can get easy access to remove it. I'm not going to charge it with the truck. I'm just going to have a portable charger, so I'll need to get the battery in and out now and again to give it a quick charge. And like I said, we'll probably end up putting the rocker switch somewhere close to the door here on the inside, maybe on this panel, on this trim panel here somewhere, so we can facilitate winching the car while we're sort of standing in the doorway here. Anyway, that's the plan. So maybe we'll break out the wiring and just sort of run it where it needs to be over in this corner. Alright, I think we're going to call it a night here. We've got all the wiring hooked up. Obviously it's not fastened to anything, it's not run in the correct location, but everything is wired as it should be. We don't have the battery in here yet, so we haven't tested it, but that's the way it's supposed to be wired according to the diagram. So we're just going to leave it for tonight, and then we'll get back to this when we can. But at least I'm happy that I've got the winch installed, and it's seems to be pretty darn solid. So we'll leave it there for tonight, and we'll get back out here when we can. Talk to you later. Thanks. Alright, Sunday morning, August 26th, and just starting the day. It's about 8:30 in the morning. Had some rains overnight, and lots of heavy dew. Anyway, the sun's struggling to come out this morning, but I think it's going to be a hot one. It's going to be pretty humid today as well. Anyway, the plan today is to, I'm up early to go to the hardware store to pick up some fasteners for the E-Track. So we're going to work on installing the E-Track today, and we're going to finish up the battery install on the Lark trailer overhaul. And anyway, I need to still swap the tires out. I still haven't got around to that, so we've got still a lot of work to do on the trailer, but first things first, we know we need to go get that hardware, and we'll probably pick up a battery box while we're out to drop the battery in. And probably a few more things while we're out. Some grease probably for the to grease the hubs on the trailer. Anyway, I should probably make a list before we go. so I don't forget anything. We'll be back shortly. Alright, so we're back from the hardware store and we have all the necessary bolts and screws to secure the E-Track to the floor of the trailer. So what I wanted to do was create some plates to go underneath the plywood. So this will be from the bottom, and we would use this as a plate to fasten the bolts through with washers and lock washers on the underside of the trailer. So I've got some 16 gauge steel here that I'm going to go up to Les's shop and we're going to shear a bunch of these. We're probably going to shear about at least 12 pieces of these, and we're going to use them for some additional support under the plywood. Of course, we're going to utilize the cross members of the trailer to screw in where we can, but where we can't, we figure that these plates are going to be a lot better than just you know, large washers underneath. So that's what the plan is. So we're going to go up shortly, cut these and drill them for some 5/16 bolts. I have to say I'm getting at the breaking point of having my garage in such a bad state. It's driving me absolutely crazy. So I think we're going to have to do a little bit of organization in here and move a few things around, move a few things on the house, put them away safely, clean up what I can, because this is just driving me insane. So I think what we might do today after we get these plates cut, I think it's going to be too darn hot to work in the trailer today. It's freaking hot already. It's it's almost 100% humidity today. And I'm dying already, and it's I think it's only about 25 degrees Celsius out here, but with the humidity it's got to feel like 35. Anyway, I doubt we'll be working on the trailer today, and if we do, it might be later on tonight when it cools down a bit. So I may need a little day project to keep me busy, so that might be mean cleaning out a bit of the garage as well. So we will see, but the main focus today is to get these plates done. Like I said, I've already purchased the hardware, which is the first step for today's project. So we'll go ahead and get those plates done, and then we'll move on from there. I'm probably going to want to, knowing me, sand these plates off, get the rust off them, and give them a quick coat of paint before I use them underneath the trailer anyway. So we'll probably do a little painting project this afternoon. Alright, Les, the long-haired lover from Liverpool, is here today. We're in Les's shop, and Les is going to shear some sheet metal for me. Right, Les?
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's all you're getting.
That's all I'm getting today?
Right now, yeah. I don't think
You don't want to say anything to your loyal YouTube fans?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, my hip works again. Now I'm here to help Mr. Tushingham. We're not supposed to use our last names in conversation. So, David and I are about to share some stuff for his trailer. He just about stole from me. Anyways, so you all know what
I just about stole from Les, and I put $1,000 into it already since I stole it from him.
Not only am I helping Mr. Tushingham with donations myself, I'm still looking for donations for Mr. Tushingham.
Oh, donations of what? TR6 parts?
Yes.
I've already offered to donate stuff to you, and you poo-pooed them. Because the stuff's not brand new.
No, I don't want brand new. I don't need brand new.
Alright. Okay, should we get to work or what?
We need to get to work, David.
Alright, I'll turn you off for now.
We've got to look for some material we can use.
Alright. Here's my template.
No, hang on. Let's get what we're looking for out material. This stuff's heavy.
We're going to get what we need for material.
You got stuff for your shoes, for feet?
Yeah, I got. Okay, Les has got the 12 plates cut, so we're going to go over to the drill press now, and we're going to drill out based on our template. This is where we need to drill, so we're going to drill all 12 of these, so we'll be good to go. Okay, we got the first 4 plates done. And Les working on the next 4. So we've got them drilled out almost to the right size. We're going to ream them out a little bit larger after we get through here. So a little bit of a long process, but we're getting there. I think these cost about $11 US a piece if you was to order them online, so it's well worth the effort to go ahead and make them yourselves if you can. Anyway, we'll stick at it. Okay, the plates are now done, so that was a big help having Les shear these and having the access to the drill press, because I don't have one of those, and that took a while for us to drill through these. And so anyway, so that's good, that's done. So we're back on our way home, and again, I doubt we'll actually utilize these today. It's too damn hot. But we should utilize them within the next few days anyway, so we'll figure something else to do in the meantime. Alright guys, Monday morning, and it's going to be a hot day today. We got a heat warning on. So I'm out here at 6:30 a.m. and we're already at 21 degrees, so we're just over 70. But the humidity is pretty high at 70%, and it's going to probably be 100% humidity later on today. I think we're going up to close to 40 degrees Celsius with the Humidex. It's going to feel like 40, so it's going to be well over 100 today. So we figured we'd get out here early before work and do a little bit of work on the trailer and try to get the tracks, the E-tracks, laid out at least, measured and laid out, and maybe a few screws in there to get them situated where they need to be. I've got the measurements for the TR6 and the TR3 as far as the wheel width is concerned, so I know where to situate the tracks, so we'll have to measure those out and locate them accordingly. So I think what we'll do is we'll drop the tailgate, take the locks off, and we'll get to work laying those tracks out. I'm going to have to cut one of the tracks in half. I'm going to lay 12 feet of track on each side. So I've got 3 8-footers, so we'll cut the one track in half, and we should be good to go as far as the E-track in this trailer is concerned. So let's get to work. We'll, like I said, unlock the trailer and get it open and start laying things out. Alright guys, so the first step is to obviously measure out where I need these tracks to be, and I've got a bit of data to work with based on my 2 cars. So I've let me see if I can focus in on this. So let's see here. Alright, so based on the manuals, the track on the front of the TR3 is 46.8 inches, or 3 foot 9 inches, which works out to be 46.8 inches. The track on the rear is 3 foot 9.5, which is 47.4, and the length is 12 foot 7 inch on the 60 TR3. The TR6 has a front track width of 4 foot 2 1/4 inches, which is 50.7. A rear track of 4 foot 1 3/4 inches, which is 49.608. Then the length for the pre or 73 and under is 155 inches, which is 12 foot 9 inches total. And the 74 plus, which has the bumperettes on it, is 163 inches or 13 foot 6 inches. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to base, and at the top here I've got my measurements actually off of the car. So the top measurements are for the TR3, and they're fairly close to the stock measurements. You have to remember that I'm running quite a wider tire than the original tire on the TR3. So I've got some measurements here that are fairly close. Again, I've measured on my car that from center to center of the tire is 47 inches. To the outside of each tire, outside to outside, is 53 inches for the outer on the TR3. On the TR6, the center is 53 inches and the outer is 58 inches. So anyway, I'm going to try to find a happy medium between those figures to lay out these tracks, because I want to be able to park the car on top of these tracks and strap them down. So that's the whole intent anyway. So what we'll do is we'll measure out, like I said, we'll find a happy medium. Maybe we'll probably do it around 53, which is the outside for the TR3 and the center for the TR6. So we'll maybe do 53 or even 54 inches will probably be good. So that's what we're planning on doing. So we're going to measure it out. We're going to get an equal distance from the left and right hand side walls. And obviously we need to get another 4 feet behind this 8-foot track. So we've got it sort of located where we think it's going to be. Have a little bit of room left here at the end of a 4-footer. So I think we're probably good to go as far as the forward and back location of these tracks is concerned. So we'll go ahead and leave that there, and then we'll just do our measurements and lay that out. It's starting to rain out, so that's not a good thing. Alright, we got the first two pieces of E-Track situated where I want it to be, and we've got them screwed down with just 4 screws temporarily. I've got them located as such that they'll pick up the frame rails on the bottom of the trailer in 2 different locations. So we're just about to cut the remaining E-Track in half to give us 2 4-foot sections to finish off the bottoms here of these 2 rails. And again, we'll do the same thing. We'll situate them so that they pick up this last rail. And you can see, basically see where the rails are in the trailer by where you can see the divides in the plywood bases. Remember, I've also got those reinforcing plates that I'm going to add to the bottom. I've got, I think 6 per side. Might be a little bit overkill, but we'll see when we get there. Anyway, we're going to mark this piece out and cut it in half. Alright, there's the entire track now located. Just again with the number 14 by 1 inch wood/metal screws. And I think it looks pretty good. Hopefully I've got them in the right location. I'm pretty sure that I do. 95% sure that I do. So I'm almost tempted to go get a car and put it on there, but I think we'll take a chance at that other 5% that it's good, and we'll start to bolt through to the chassis, and maybe we'll start trying to put some of those plates on as well. So I think we'll do the bolts through the chassis first, and then we'll come back and we'll start doing the plating, and I'll give you an update as we go. Alright guys, there's the first 2 locations at the rear where I'm picking up the frame. And as you can see, I probably went a little overboard with the length of the bolts, but I'd rather them too long than too short. So we've got the bolts, the 5/16, I believe they're 2 inch. Probably could have gone with 1.5 inches. I've got the lock washer and just a regular flat washer on there, and just tighten it up with the impact, and we're good to go. So we can see over there, there's the other 2 locations on the far side. So we'll go across and do those. So again, I'm going to pick up all the rails that I can along the bottom first, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to start to do the plating afterwards. So anyway, I think what we'll try to do this morning is get all the frame rail connectors done, and then we may take a break because it's getting too darn hot out here and I got to go to work. Alright, quick afternoon update for you. We've got all the bolts now through the frame rails on the bottom of the trailer and tightened, with the exception of these ones here, those 2 bolts there. I just can't access them without having to jack the trailer up because of where the axles are and where the tires are. I can't get in far enough. I need to be much thinner, so I've got to either jack the trailer up or I've got to get someone thinner under there, and it's not going to be less, that's for sure. But I know this little Bulgarian guy who might be able to access those 2 bolts, so we'll see in the future if I can convince him to come up. He has to do some wiring, I think, anyway, so we'll get him to tighten those 2 bolts up when he comes up. Anyway, the next step for me is to get the plates out and to figure out where I'm going to do the plating on the bottom of the trailer. So I'm going to grab the plates and just lay them out where I think they need to be. And then we'll mark the locations and drill through the wood, and then we'll get under the trailer and then we'll start fastening those plates. And again, the plates are going to be bolted with the 5/16 bolt. Just a quick notation on the holes on the E-Track. I am having to ream them out a little bit for the bolts, just a tiny little bit to get the 5/16 bolt through there. So not a big deal, but I just thought I'd mention that. Well, you remember I said it was hot in the trailer? It's really hot. Time for a break, I think. Okay, we've gone ahead and laid out the reinforcing plates for the bottom of the plywood, and I've just got them situated here on top so I know where to drill my holes through. So we've got 6 plates per side, and we made sure that we put a plate on where the join in the 8-foot and the 4-foot track are, and we've also put one at the very end of the track as well. So I think those should be good. There's no way this track is going to move after I get those bolted down. And again, we'll probably go back through and just do every other hole that's open with a wood screw as well, with a 1 inch number 14 wood screw. So there's no way this is going to move, no way that the car is going to pull from it. So I think we'll be good once we get those plates installed. So we'll start drilling holes, and again we'll go through the process of getting under the trailer and putting those bolts in. It's going to be a little more difficult now with 4 bolts per plate. And again, I'm going to have an issue probably with this back one here actually getting reach to it. So again, that one will probably have to wait till the very end. Alright, the first plate is in, Again, the bolts are a little long, but that's what I got. If I had to do it again, it'd be 1.5 bolts, not 2-inch, like I'd mentioned already. But it does make it easier to actually get the bolt through and get the nut, because obviously these bolts want to push up because there's nobody helping me on the inside of the trailer. So a little easier to get the lock washer started, and then spin the bolt on spin the nut on if the bolt's a little bit longer. So anyway, there's the reinforcement plates. I think it's much better than just a large washer arrangement. So we'll continue on, and we're going to run out of bolts at some point, so then we can buy shorter ones then. Alright, the 3 easiest ones are now done. There's the front, and then the next one down, and the next one down. So we're going to move over to the other side and put the plates there. We're going to match where we've located this side onto the other side as far as spacing is concerned, and then we'll work our way backwards and finish off the back ones. So I just want to give you a quick look at those. They're looking good. It'll definitely help to hold the car in place. Just wanted to give you an idea of the price of one of these things new. This is actually a 7x16, so it's 2 feet longer than mine. Obviously newer. Mine's a 2006. But look at how insane the price is of these things. $7,500 for this trailer. And by the time you outfitted it with all your E-Track, etc., winches, you're probably like $8,500 by the time you're done. So, and that doesn't include tax. So you'd be into this trailer $9 grand at least with tax and putting a few options on it. So I don't feel so bad about my little trailer and what I paid for it and what I put into it. Alright, just had to make a hardware run. Picked up another $26 worth of nuts and bolts. So hard to believe, but I think that's over $100 now just in fasteners for this E-Track. So it is what it is. I guess I'm sounding old complaining about how much stuff costs. Anyway, we're going to work on fixing the other 6 plates, the 6 remaining plates. As I'd mentioned, I probably can't access this very first one, but I can definitely do the 2 back ones. So we'll go ahead and start working on the 2 back ones, actually the 4 back ones first, then we'll see if we can tackle that one by chance. Alright guys, it's the Tuesday the 28th of August. It's about 6:15 or so, just home from work. So I thought we'd get out here and work on the trailer. It's still unbearably hot out. Not necessarily temperature-wise, but it's very, very high humidity, so it's making it rather uncomfortable to work out here. Anyway, what we're going to do today is we're going to, I can't remember where I left off yesterday, but we get all of the reinforcement plates on the bottom of the plywood sheeting, with the exception of 2 plates that I can't reach, so we'll have to do those at a later date. Other than that, everything is fastened down. The only thing I need to do now is I want to use my 1-inch, number 14 1-inch wood screws to go through and do every other location on the track. So I'm just going to go sort of cross, 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 that kind of thing. So we're going to do the entire track all the way down. It was probably overkill. I don't think that it's going to go anywhere with those plates bolted in there and with the other bolts bolted to the frame members, but we may as well do some added insurance just in case. So we'll go ahead and we'll do some more screwing of those E-Tracks down. We'll call that done, then we'll move on to the next project. I may want to try to do something fairly easy tonight, like maybe run or finish the wiring. I've got some wiring holders that I can install for the cabling. I've got my battery hold down box there as well, so I could probably install that. So maybe we can try to get at least the wiring tidied up and run to the battery box tonight anyway as an easy project. So we'll see how we do. We're going to be out here for an hour or 2, I think, anyway, so we'll make the best of it while we can. Well, it's still light out. It's getting dark now, about 8 o'clock, so I probably only got about an hour and a half to 2 hours of light left. Alright, getting pretty dark out, so I'll give you one last update of the night. So the tracks are completely screwed down now. And we started just running wiring for our winch. So we've got that looking pretty organized. We've got the switch coming over here. We're going to put it up the wall just about here somewhere. And we're going to just mount it probably in a little bit from the trailer. I'm going to mount a little piece of wood backing plate and then just sort of fasten it there. So that'll be good there. And battery box is going to go back here in the corner. So we just got our wires run out here for now, and we'll get those organized tomorrow. So that's it for tonight, guys. We'll again get out here for another couple hours tomorrow night, and hopefully the weather will be a little bit cooler to work in. I know this heat wave or humidity is supposed to break on Thursday, so I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, that's it for tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Alright guys, quick update for you. The winch is now fully installed with the battery box. Hopefully that's not going to be in the way over there. If it is, we can find another location for it, or just remove the battery box altogether and just find a different way of mounting the battery, or even mounting the battery against the back wall. It is only screwed down with a couple of large wood screws and washers on the base. Anyway, it looks okay there. All the wiring is run to it. The winch works properly as it should. We've got the switch installed here, so we can either operate it from the door or operate it from inside standing here. So we're happy with that. And now we will move on to the next project, and I think the next project is going to be finally getting around to installing the wheels. So maybe we'll drag the wheels out and we'll attempt to install one or two. It's starting to get a little gray and stormy out, and the wind's starting to pick up, so probably not a good idea to start doing the wheel bearings, but hey, we're into it now. So we've got the bearings out, and just about to clean them up with some brake cleaner. We've got some new grease. We've got the air compressor filling up to be able to blow out the brake cleaner after we clean off the bearings. And there goes my door. We'll reassemble it and put the new tire on. Everything else looks pretty good in there. Well, I managed to get one done before it decided to start raining, so the other three are going to have to wait. Anyway, it wasn't too bad. The bearings are repacked and reset on the wheel. We still have to add a few pumps of grease into the grease nipple, but we can do that at the very end. We'll just knock that cap back off and give it a few pumps. So other than that, we'll just change out the other three wheels, and then we only have a few more things left to do, including the trailer jack at the front and a few other repairs, some little sheet metal repairs here and there, but we're getting to the end of it. So anyway, I wish it hadn't rained tonight. We could have continued on, but maybe it's a good time for a break and have some dinner.